I've never been to Amsterdam. I've never been to the Netherlands. I've never been to Europe. I know. I need to travel more. Actually, I live in Asia, so maybe that's good. So, guys, today we're gonna watch a video about Amsterdam. Of course, this city intrigues every tourist, right? So, we're gonna watch a video called 16 Things I Wish I Knew Before Visiting Amsterdam. And on his thumbnail, it's called This Place is Weird. Okay, let's check it out.
I've been to Amsterdam quite a few times and recently went back to this magical and kinda weird city. So in this video I'll share some exciting facts and travel tips for the capital of Holland. Of course, I knew that the country isn't called Holland, it is called the Netherlands. But in Danish, and I'm from Denmark, we just call the country Holland, and I think it's the same in quite a few.
Actually, in French, we say les Pays-Bas, basically Netherlands, the translation. But in English, I knew it as Holland. I'm sorry, guys.
Countries, but just don't be overheard calling the country Holland when you're in the Netherlands, because I think people could be a bit annoyed by that.
Oh, are you annoyed by it, Dutch people? Let me know in the comments, please. I want to know if tourists come and they say, "Oh, Holland is beautiful." What is your reaction?
The Dutch have nothing to hide. If you're walking through Amsterdam, you will notice something that might seem quite bizarre to foreigners. Massive windows with zero curtains, which gives you like a full look into people's apartments. And the Dutch don't seem to care at all. But there's actually a fascinating story behind all of this. So back in the 17th century, having large windows and keeping them uncovered was a way to show to your neighbors that you didn't have anything to hide from them or from God himself. And even today, many Dutch people consider it rude to have your curtains closed during the day because...
Really? That's interesting. That's weird to me. What if you take a shower and you're out of the shower and you just want to get dressed and yeah, what's up with that?
Then it's like you've got something to hide from your neighbors.
Okay.
I live in Copenhagen, so I know the feeling of being on my bike in the middle of the city and seeing this big group of tourists on yellow or orange bikes and just feel like these guys don't belong here and they don't have any idea of the fact that people are actually using this bike lane to get to work or get to places that they have to go to. Biking in Amsterdam and Copenhagen is the equivalent of driving a car elsewhere. It's far...
Oh, this I would be this I wouldn't be used to it. I would probably walk in a bike lane where I shouldn't be, and yes, this would be something I would have to adapt for sure.
Fast-paced, it's purposeful, and most importantly, there's a zero tolerance to pedestrians in bike lanes. So at all times when you're in Amsterdam, you gotta be aware of the kind of traffic that you can't hear.
Oh, I would be such a bad tourist, but now I know. If I go to Amsterdam, you won't see me in a bike lane.
Which is bikes, and don't be surprised if you get yelled at if you walk around on the street with no regard of your surroundings. I was also quite surprised how many people were actually using e-bikes in Amsterdam, so they go fast and the e-bikes are actually quite stylish and not those phone thief / drug dealer kind of e-bikes that you see in other cities. Coffee shops aren't for coffee. If you're looking for your morning caffeine fix in Amsterdam, don't go to a coffee shop. You want to look for a cafe or coffee house, I think. Because coffee shops in Amsterdam are for that plant that makes cigarettes smell funny. But yes, the green plant is legal in the designated coffee shops in Amsterdam, but lighting up in public or even in a park can actually get you a fine. It does.
Yeah, I live in Thailand. It got legalized here a couple of years ago, and you see people on the street and stuff. It smells everywhere.
Smell quite funny all over Amsterdam. And on my last trip, I did see and smell loads
Is it like this in Amsterdam where everywhere you walk, you're gonna smell it? Like, yeah, young people just don't care. They just smoke everywhere.
of funny looking cigarettes in the streets. I think the police are probably turning a blind eye to just if you're a bloke sitting on a bench on your own, just smoking a funny cigarette, then they'll probably be alright with that. But if you're a group of, lads coming to Amsterdam, you're drunk, you're making a scene on the street, and you're smoking, then I'm pretty sure you'll get a fine.
Okay. At least they give fines.
Getting from Amsterdam Schiphol Airport to the city center is super easy. The train station is literally right under, or the train tracks are right under the airport, so you can basically walk from airplane to train within like 10 minutes, and then the train
That was a good looking airport. Wow.
to Amsterdam Centraal train station takes about
so
20
clean.
minutes. And the best part of getting the airport train
20
is that you can just use your phone to tap in, just tap your contactless card or phone, and then you will walk through the barrier and be on the train. And this goes
Wow, everything looks so clean there. Is it like this everywhere I was about to say Holland. In the Netherlands.
for all Amsterdam public transport, also the metro, the tram and the bus. Amsterdam is practically a cashless city. You can pay for almost everything with your card or your phone, from tram rides, as I just said, to tiny stalls that sell stroopwafels. I think the Dutch were pretty early adapters of contactless payments, and they actually have one of the highest rates of cashless transactions in Europe. So don't bother taking out euros, just use your phone or
That's pretty good. I think every country should follow that.
your card
It's
anywhere.
just easier. That's beautiful.
Amsterdam's top attractions like the Anne Frank House, the Rijksmuseum and the Van Gogh Museum are super popular, and tickets often sell out weeks in advance. For example, the Anne Frank House has been a museum since 1960 and more than 1.2 million people visit it annually. And like, it's just a tiny house by the canal, so imagine if people were actually stood in line there, that would be pretty crazy. So make sure you pre-book your tickets for those famous things.
You know, that's perfect for me, because when I travel, I usually don't like to go where everyone's going, lineups, crowds of people. I just hate it. You know what? I prefer someone making a video about it. I'm going to watch it, and you're going to see me chill, rent a bike in Amsterdam instead of going where everyone else is going.
That you want to do in Amsterdam. To show you how tiny Amsterdam or the city center actually is, let me just throw up this Google map. It shows a walk from the central station and out to the famous 9 Streets, which is one of the nicest areas of town and one that you definitely will want to visit. It's only like a 20-minute walk, as you can see, and that kind of gives you an overview of how small Amsterdam city center actually is. So my tip here is that instead of acting like 95% of tourists who are coming to Amsterdam who will only ever visit the city center, you really should go out to areas like Jordaan and De Pijp, and check out my other Amsterdam video if you want to see some of my favorite parts of the city.
Huh, I didn't know it was such a small place.
Forget everything you know about weather forecasts. Amsterdam's weather definitely has a mind of its own, and the Dutch have this saying that if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes, and I feel like that sums up Amsterdam's weather quite well. Amsterdam actually gets over 200 days of rain every year, but it's usually light rain that comes and goes quite quickly, so do as the locals and wear layers and always have a light jacket with you. And also,
Is it really an expression in Dutch where if you complain about the weather, it's like, yeah, wait 5 minutes, it's gonna be fine?
so just be ready to head into the nearest nice little cafe or pub, because there are loads all over Amsterdam.
Wow.
Those dreamy tulip fields that you see on Instagram, they are not in Amsterdam actually. They are out in an area called Keukenhof, so you can go on a day trip out there, but just know that you're not gonna stumble upon a little cute tulip field in the city center of Amsterdam.
Yeah, I kind of knew that.
Amsterdam's tap water is some of the cleanest in the world, so you can just open up, drink, and have a good time.
Cool. That's good. Here, I live in Thailand here, and you can't drink tap water. Gotta buy water all the time.
It is a bit mad that I need to say this, but don't rent a car if you're coming to Amsterdam and just want to experience Amsterdam. We've established that Amsterdam is a pretty small city, and driving a car in Amsterdam would be just silly. It's impossible to get a parking spot, and there are so many bikes all over that it must be so stressful to ride a car in Amsterdam. There's no point. There's brilliant public transport, or you can just walk.
I would rent an e-bike.
Here's something that surprises quite a few tourists who are coming to Amsterdam. Some of the best Indonesian food outside of Indonesia is actually to be found here in Amsterdam.
Why?
That is, of course, not just a random coincidence. It's a direct result of the Netherlands' colonial history with Indonesia. So when Indonesia gained independence in 1945, many Indonesian people moved over to Amsterdam, which of course brought their incredible cuisine with them. One of the absolute must-tries when you're coming to Amsterdam and want to try that Dutch Indonesian food is rijsttafel, which basically translates into rice table. And this was actually one of my highlights of the last trip I went on here. I definitely recommend this restaurant. But I also read somewhere that there are actually more Indonesian restaurants in Amsterdam city center than traditional Dutch restaurants. So you are spoiled for choice.
What? That's very surprising. This I had absolutely no idea. There's more Indonesian restaurants than Dutch restaurants.
Everyone, at least online, seems to compare Amsterdam to Venice and call it the Venice of the North. But perhaps we should start calling Venice the Amsterdam of the South, because there are actually way more canals in Amsterdam compared to Venice. And a little fun fact, if you laid out all the canals from Amsterdam like in a straight line, they would go all the way to Paris.
Oh yeah.
It's mad how similar Amsterdam is to Copenhagen, where I live, and I filmed this on a nice sunny day, which is the first day in 2 months that we actually have some sun. So you should hit the like button, because I'm sitting inside and not going outside filming this video. Thank you. I feel like the Dutch and the Danes also look quite similar, and while I don't understand the language when they talk, I can kind of understand written Dutch quite.
Hey, I've never been to either cities, and yeah, it looks kind of similar actually.
Well as a Dane. Also, one of the most famous Danish kings, Christian IV, was so inspired by Amsterdam that he had a big part of Copenhagen modeled after the city with all the canals. So that's actually why the area of Christianshavn here in Copenhagen looks so much like Amsterdam. Also, both cities have so many cool bakeries and cafes and coffee shops, and I don't mean those kind of coffee shops, all over town.
Ah, so it's only in
Amsterdam. Have you been to Amsterdam? Let me know what you think of the city, and if you have any cool travel tips or facts.
Only in Amsterdam coffee shops are what you think. Anyway, I'm surprised, especially with the Indonesian restaurants in Amsterdam. I had absolutely no idea. But guys, thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.